Everybody can come on and have a seat now. This is one of the things that we may do at the beginning of Path. We will do games. We will do prayer by color. We'll have worship band as well that will come periodically. And we usually do it with a theme of some sort. The theme for this one was listening carefully, which is what we want all of you to do tonight when we're talking about all the different things about Path. So let's listen carefully for the rest of the evening. And for those of you online, we're glad that you're with us as well. And we'll get the PowerPoint to you later as well so that you can review anything that you missed. We do have a Path Retreat. It's an older Path Retreat video that we'd like to show if it does work. So we're going to give Path Retreat is a weekend that we take in March usually. It's we leave on a Friday evening, come back on a Sunday morning. It's just a time that we get small groups together with our large groups. There's worship. There's a theme that we have for the weekend. Like this past year, our theme was respect. We talked about showing respect for self, showing respect for God, showing respect for others. And we have rotations that we go through that reinforce some of the ideas that we have during that time. It's just a real fun time, but it's also a time that, and our 8th and 7th graders can attest to this as well, it's just the one moment that opens up your heart so big that God just jumps right in, and the kids really experience a lot of Christ during that weekend. So. Awesome. So as you can see, that was our Path Retreat from a couple of years ago when we had to have it here at the church due to COVID. But we do go out to the Lake Geneva Youth Camp obviously up in Lake Geneva, and just have an awesome time up there with the worship band, with the groups and everything. So we look forward to everyone being able to attend that. I'm going to turn over to Pastor Mo to talk about our church.
Yeah, so I am Pastor Mo. I'm excited to be a part of this confirmation program, mostly probably because I never fully grew up myself, so I just get to have a lot of fun with you guys. And so my big job is to do important things like make sure we have things like mechanical bulls or jousting, all those really important things in a kid's ministry, along with the even more important things, which is about community, relationships, friendships, and learning about God and who God created you to be. And so we have a mission here at Light of Christ, and it's invite, nurture, and serve. But how we do that here is how we invite here in Path is we've created poop nights, which means pop on over peeps. And so these nights, not only does Jared, our Path manager, wear a really funny, cool poop hat with a face, but this is an opportunity where you get to invite your friends, and we do have a lesson, and we also pray together, but we also do a lot of games and a lot of fun activities, and if you bring a friend that night, then your name goes into little hat or whatever, and we pull it, and then you have opportunities to win different gift cards. So we encourage you to invite your friends to be a part of the community. We've had lots of kids even join just from coming to these nights and experiencing what it means to be in community with others, to know who they are in God, and so it's just a really great opportunity. How did that happen? There we go. Nurture, okay. How we nurture, yeah, it's all right. Thanks, Jack. No, how we nurture here is number one, through our big group lessons together. So we teach you the ways of God. Now, these aren't easy ways in life. These are ways where when people are making fun of you at school or you're having a really hard time, we teach how you can stand up for yourself, but you can do it in a way that's loving, right? What does it look like to forgive those even if they've hurt you and they don't deserve it? You know, what does it mean to have confidence in who you are and who God created you to be just as you are, and maybe not be jealous that other people have talents in certain sports or look certain ways, but to see yourself the way God sees you as perfect, because that's why God made you that way. And then serve. We give lots of opportunities to serve because how we discover who we are is by stepping outside of ourselves. And so we'll go on to the next. All right. Our primary goals here in Path. Our most important goal is for the kids to walk away from this understanding that they're loved. Like, that's most important. This is a hard time in life where everything comes at us online, in the school setting, where it kind of hits us down a little bit. And so this is a place and a space where we just want you guys to come as you are, come exactly as you are, and you are loved, and we remind you of that, and we want you to walk out into the world in that and be confident in that. We obviously use the Bible in all of our lessons. That is our guide for life and how we are to be living together. We take things out of the small catechism because we are Lutheran, and so we learn things like the Apostles' Creed, which is the oldest statement of faith. This is a statement of faith that the first Christians, when they made this statement, it meant life or death. And so as we learn this, historical piece of who we are saying the words and professing them out loud, the same words that other people risked their lives for because they believed it so deeply. And we also discipling middle schoolers in understanding their baptismal covenant. Biggest thing about our baptismal covenant is that we're human beings and not human doings. Meaning that it is not what you do, it is not what you have that makes you important or special. It is just who you are. And living in that. And understanding that no matter what you've done, no matter how bad you feel about certain things, that you've already been saved. Jesus already took everything on the cross for us so that we are loved and we are saved, and we always have that opportunity to go to God and to reconcile and to be forgiven. And so our secondary goals are to build relationships, right? And so this is done especially in our small groups and with our leaders. I don't know, I have 2 daughters, and as much as I would love to say they came to me for everything, they didn't. No, not at all. And so having other leaders who are good, sound people that can guide our children is priceless. And having a space and a place that no matter what happens outside of here, whether it's at sports or at school, that they can come here and just be who they are and talk about those things and work through them is really important to us. To connect parents. You may have noticed that we gave you a little form, right? Like, it's about community also, not just your kids here, but for you guys as well. Like, nothing is more powerful and life transformative than being a part of a good community with good people. It guides our life and the things we do. And so here are some adult opportunities for you guys, and we'll continue to do that throughout the year is to give you other opportunities to connect here at Light of Christ if you'd like to do that. And then fostering a desire. This is about a relationship, right? To be a follower of Jesus means to grow to know who Jesus is. It's like, think of your best friend. You know a lot of things about your best friend. You know who your best friend is. Sometimes they don't even need to say things, and it's like you know what they're gonna say before they say it, or you know what they would do in a certain situation. That's how we want you to know Jesus. We want you to know Jesus that well that when something happens and maybe you want to be reactive and yell back at your parent or argue with your sibling or maybe even push them or whatever it is you naturally would want to do in a situation, that maybe you stop and go, wait, I know who Jesus is. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know who I was created to be. I'm just going to do that. And you choose differently and choose wisely. And so here is some of our amazing staff. And I just want to share a fun, Jared is our Path manager. He mentioned that he's now retired and he's going to give you his cell phone. So feel free to call at all hours because he can take naps during the day. So, he's trying to use his mic. Yeah, keep that off, Jack. So a fun fact, what do you want to share as a fun fact about yourself?
Oh, two things.
Oh, is it not on? Two things.
Two things that I share is I'm a huge Disney fan.
Huge Disney fan.
I think I've been to Disney World probably about 20 times.
20 times?
Yeah. So, and this one's kind of weird and kind of might gross some of you out.
It's weird and it's going to gross you out, so this is going to be good.
So you may want to see me when I have sandals on. I have two toes that are webbed together.
He's got webbed feet.
Just two
cool.
toes.
Two toes. Awesome. He's maybe like part duck, like down the road. Maybe a great, he's a bad swimmer though. So what, the web feet didn't even come in handy? That's not cool. All right, Kim is our director of youth ministry. She's awesome. She does a lot with our teens in Summit, but she will be a part of Path as well, in and out. Some cool things about Kim that you should definitely know, especially because she's not here, is one, she hates birds. I mean, like, freak her out, hates birds. So I periodically take like stuffed birds or any kind of thing, and I'll just like jump in her office and be like, caw-caw, caw-caw. So please feel free to do this, because I'm all about exposure therapy, and if she could get over her fear, she'll be even a stronger person. So really, this is a way of us loving her. And now that she's here, I'll just say the other one is she loves tacos. And so if you find a place on Taco Tuesday and they're $1, I mean, you're going to become her best friend. So, hey, Kim, no, I didn't say anything about you. You are amazing. Jenna. But I don't know. I didn't make this PowerPoint. So this is me, and that lipstick is ridiculously red. I didn't realize it, but it was too late when the picture went up. So something about me that some of you don't know is that I was actually kicked out of the Museum of Science and Industry. Yes. There was an exhibit called Body Worlds where they actually had people who had died naturally, right? And so, and they had their bodies on exhibit, but like the skin was off. It was really weird, right? But like some were like cut in half. I know it sounds really creepy, but there were like animals too. And I'm one of those people, if there is a sign that says don't touch, maybe I didn't want to touch it before I saw the sign. But all I need to do is see that sign, even like wet paint. Like who in their brain wants to touch wet paint? If a sign says wet paint, don't touch, I'm like, is it wet though? Is it? And I'll touch it. So anyway, long story short, I wanted to really then touch the bodies. So I might have stepped around the rope stuff and touched the body, which, by the way, there's alarm systems in the Museum of Science and Industry, and I was literally tackled by the security and asked to leave. Yes, but I haven't been banned forever. I was just banned that day. And when people asked me how old I was in my 20s, so they were expecting me to say I was very young. So yes, it was late 20s. So learn from me, don't touch anything at museums. All right. Yes, we are incredibly humble, as we call ourselves fabulous. So we'll let Jared go ahead and, oh, wait, arrival and dismissal. No. Wait, no.
We're going to do the leaders first.
Oh, there we go.
All the leaders.
Oh, yeah.
The small group leaders.
Perfect.
So we're going to take this time to recognize our small group leaders who have volunteered their time over these next 3 years, and some of them are down to 2, and some of them are down to 1, of helping your kids with their journey with Christ. So our 6th grade leaders we have for boys is Alex Neely, and he'll be with Jamie Walrack.
Yay!
Then we have Casey Gober.
All right.
And Aiden Holmer will be with him as well. Aiden should be here momentarily.
Awesome.
We have our 7th grade girls groups. We have Kristen Thorson.
Yes, thank you.
And Caitlin Tomaszewski.
Yes.
And then our other 6th grade girls group is Brooke Ferrant.
Yay.
Shannon Denna.
All right. Woohoo! Yes, raise your
And
hand.
Maya Davis.
All right.
So that's our 6th grade group that will be helping out over the next 3 years. Our 7th grade group, who has helped last year and then continuing on for the next 2 years. We have Dave Hout.
Woohoo! All right.
And Matt Cincerello.
Woo! Yes.
We have Aaron Holmer.
All right.
Way back there.
Thank you, Aaron.
Michael Sheridan.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you to Scotty Prine for coming in and helping us out this year.
Yes. Awesome.
Our girl groups, we have Kim Marsala
Woohoo!
and Lindsay Orzechowski.
Yay!
And unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight because of Westfield Parent Night, but Emma Leibs will be the adult group leader for the girls back here. And Kaylin Nelson's going to be coming in to help out with that as well. So
Yes.
thank both of them.
Yay!
See, so far so good. I remembered all the names. See if I keep on going here. For our 8th grade groups, we have Elizabeth Little.
Yay!
And I knew I was going to do it to myself. Kaylee. Kaylee Mars is her co-leader that helps her out. We have Lainey Farley,
Yay! Thank you.
and she's with Amy Campert. And then we have John Orlando.
Yes.
And Mike Thorson, who unfortunately neither one could be here tonight, so luckily Ryan's stepping in for us as well.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. So I'll turn it back over to Pastor Mo for communication.
All right. Communication. Okay, so who here has the Church Center downloaded on their phones? Yes. Okay, maybe I should say who doesn't. Raise your hand. Okay. So you're definitely going to want to download this. It looks like a little church house. It's blue and green. You literally go to your phone, you go to the app store, you put in Church Center, and it'll pop up. You're going to want to do this because not only is it a great way to communicate with anyone as you opt into the directory, right? If you want to get a hold of someone, you should get your leader's contact information, though, your child's leader. Please exchange that this evening. But it's a great way to get a hold of other kids and different things like that. Also, it's your way to really communicate. You're going to be able to access the calendar that way. You're going to be able to also access our handbook, which has different things within it that you will need. And then we do have a Facebook page. So if you have Facebook, you could go to Facebook and put Path Light of Christ Confirmation, and it'll pop up. And then you can go ahead and follow us. And so as we do events and different things, if you want to see pictures of your kids, this is where we're kind of like, we sort of use it as a photo dump, you know, where we could put all these good pictures in there, and so that all the all the parents can see all the pictures of the kids while we're at like retreats and doing different things as well. Okay. Arrival and dismissal, we are asking that you don't just like roll up and have your kid like, as you slowly go, just open the door and roll out. Or even get out, because it's kind of dangerous as people are walking in and out. So we're asking parents this year to just park and then let your kids get out. And then same thing as they're leaving in the evening, just if you can park and then they'll walk out to you, that would be greatly appreciated. Just as we try to make sure no one gets hit by a vehicle. That's one of our goals. Not that anyone has been, so don't get nervous. Okay, you may have noticed that there was pizza tonight. So what we have is Wednesday Night Live, right? So there's lots of things happening. You may have saw a lot of different kids of different ages. Well, we're offering food And so it's a really menial price. I think it's like $4 a meal. And Jared is going to be sending out like the whole list of like what nights, what there is. And it's totally fun kid stuff, like chicken patties and nachos and pizza and orange chicken. Ooh, see, all right, there's some good Swedish meatballs. So there's good stuff on here. So you can opt into different nights, and we are asking that if you do eat, that you get your food by 5:50, and just eat and get to know other people and, have community out there before we start Path, if you'd like. And you can prepay. We do ask that you prepay, so that would be better. And you'll be able to do that with a link that is sent within the email. Or if you do come and you need to pay here, we can do that. But this way we can prepare the right amount of food as well. Okay, our lesson nights. So what often happens, kind of Jared sort of described it, we always start with a fun game, right? So the kids you guys are coming from school, we get it, we gotta get you up and moving. Then we go to our large group lesson, and we're gonna have a bunch of different kind of speakers. So it's not just gonna be us, but we wanted to be intentional about having a little bit of diversity. And so we're gonna make sure that happens this year. We're gonna do, then you go to your small groups, and you meet with your small groups, and you'll be dismissed by 8 o'clock. And then the leaders will come back to us, and we're gonna pray over them and just touch base with them quickly. We have different activities that come up throughout the year. We have scavenger hunts, escape rooms, team building courses, and also, like we talked about, the retreat, which is a really, really powerful time together. That is a time when the most transformation happens with these kids. They're away from home, it's a different environment. We did it here 2 years ago, but that was because of COVID, and last year we went away, and it's just so powerful. So please consider having your kids go to that. And then Jared, you wanna come up? I think the next one is you. Oh, poop nights. Is that me or you? Oh, I'm on poop nights. All right, yeah, all right, I like poop nights. Okay, so poop nights, are lots of fun, like I kind of explained before. Great opportunity to invite your friends, even if they're not kids that go to church. This is a time where they get to know a little bit about who God is, and a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of community. And we just get goofy and crazy together. And Kim and I buy ridiculous things so that we can have fun. Like that one to the sumo balloon. Helmets came in handy because I went flying. Some of these kids are incredibly strong, and they tackled me down hard. And so, yes, helmets, we make sure everyone is protected and safe, even when we had the mechanical bull. So, yes, this is just a great opportunity, and if your kids bring friends, like I said, they have opportunities of winning gift cards, which is awesome as well. And then, all right, Jared, on to you. Oh, these are the 2 dates if you want to put those in your calendars as well, for our Path Bash and then the retreat.
And these are, Jack, I'm muted.
Jackie's muted. Jack's like, that was intentional.
I know it was. These are our 2 big major events that we have throughout Path each year. It's called our Path Bash, which is held in October. We meet here at the church around 1 o'clock, and we go until about 8 o'clock in the evening. During the day, we have different activities that we may be doing. One of the activities we do is a serving act of some sort out in the community. And then we do like a photo scavenger hunt or big games that we play and such like that. So it's a real fun evening. We do need parent assistance during some of these to help out with the food, because we do serve a meal to the kids that evening. So you can help out with that, or even with setup and take down or checking in kids and such. The other major event that we have, I talked about a little bit earlier, is our Path Retreat. That's on March 10th through the 12th. Please mark it on your calendar, and we want every kid to be able to experience this weekend. It is such an awe-inspiring weekend for our kids and for our leaders as we build together. The Path Bash really starts to solidify the groups and starts to build up that rapport and relationship that we have here. The Path Retreat is taking those relationships that you learn from your small group and broadening it even more to God and Jesus as we go across that weekend. Yeah, thank you. Our next thing that we look at is our path materials that we'll have for each week. So each week you need to bring your path bag, and inside your path bag you need to have your Bible, your notebook, your highlighter, your pen, and your for path each Wednesday. Now, 7th and 8th graders, we're doing something different this year. 6th graders, you don't know any different. So, but we're not going to be using the journal as we've used in the past, which has, write down the 3 points and that kind of such. What we're going to do is actually just have a spiral notebook that you're going to have. And that spiral notebook is where you can just take notes on your own. If you're a person that maybe needs to doodle a little bit just to kind of keep your attention, that's fine as long as you're listening and paying attention to the lesson. And then you can use those notes when you go to small group, because small group is just an extension of our large group learning that we have. And you can go back and refer to your notes that you have on there. We're just going to give it a try, see how it works, and go from there. At the end of path, or at the end of small group each week, and leaders, this is something new that we're doing as well. If I can get them apart here. Thank you. There's a sheet that looks like this, and what it is we want to have your thoughts. So your leaders are going to talk to you and ask you 3 questions. What is one thing you enjoyed or learned from tonight's lesson? What is one thing you would change from tonight's lesson? And what prayer requests do you have? And then your leaders will bring that back to Pastor Mo and Kim and myself so that we can take a look at it and see, okay, what adjustments we need to make with the curriculum, what adjustments maybe we need to make with the opening, maybe something that happened in a small group. But most importantly is looking at those prayer requests that we have there to make sure that we're praying for each and every one of you as time goes on.
Yeah, and this is super important. And so we really want you guys to be 100% honest, right? Because this is for you guys. So if you're bored, I'm saying it's your fault. Because this is the time when you're like, oh, I didn't like that from this lesson, or I thought doing it like this wasn't, or I didn't understand what even they were talking about, or, I loved this. Like, whatever you share with us is how we're going to change things. Because our most important thing is for you to understand what we're talking about, be able to apply it, like to do it, to live it out, and to enjoy yourself. So obviously not everything in life is enjoyable and what you want to be doing when, in that moment. But we want to make this as enjoyable as possible because this is an amazing opportunity to just grow and to live into the young men and women God created you to be. And so we want to make this as engaging as possible. So please share with your small group leaders those things. And they're not going to write your name on it or anything, like so-and-so said this. So please just be as honest as possible.
Thank you. Our next thing that we're looking at is our one rule. The one rule that we have for PATH is just respect. We want to make sure that everybody's respecting themselves by being engaged and participating. If it's in the small group section, sometimes in large group we'll say, okay, get your small group together and talk about this question. Or if we're on the PATH Bash, participating with some of the activities that we're doing, we'd like for you to respect yourself by doing so. Respect other people because God says so. God says that you need to respect other people. You hear honor your mother and father, but it also says love your neighbor. And love your neighbor means anybody that is around you and anybody that's part of your life. We need to make sure we're showing that respect for them. One way that you can really show that respect for others is like when you're in a small group and somebody shares something that's very personal about them. Maybe they're talking about, they decide to share mom and dad are getting a divorce or something like that. Keep that with your group. Your leaders will let Pastor Mo and myself know so that we can reach out to the family if we need to. But that's not something that you go back to school the next day and say, did you hear what Johnny said during PATH last night? I can't believe that that's happening to him. It's not a gossip time. It's a respectful time, making sure we're respecting others. And then respect the property in the church because this is our home. This is our spiritual home that we have here. At least every Wednesday night and every Saturday night or Sunday morning as well. So if you see garbage on the floor, pick it up. If you end up breaking something, just be honest and let us know so we can get it fixed. Just be very careful and aware of the property in the church and around the outside as well.
So, so if there is any kind of behavior that is just continuing, right? Like if there is a student that continues to be disruptive and disrespectful or maybe rude to some of the other kids or mean, this is the way our disciplinary action, which is one, your group leader is going to address it, say, and have a conversation with the student. The second thing that's going to happen is that the child will be brought to Jared or Kim, who will probably be in the office area, just for a conversation, maybe to figure out what's going on, maybe why this behavior is happening, because the reality is, hurt people, and sometimes we act out in different ways because really there's some things going on in our own lives, and so we approach it that way as we address the kids. But then if it continues, then they're gonna come to me with it, or we're going to email you guys, obviously the parents, you'll be made aware, and then they're going to come to me with it. And if the child just continues this behavior, we will allow them to attend the large group, but for the good of the rest of the kids, we're not going to have them be present at different big events and or small groups. It depends. And we've never had this happen, right? Once. We had it happen once. So we won't make it twice, right? It'll be good. I think we should be good.
If you look at the next screen, this is where we talk about our worship reflections. We like for the kids to attend church on a regular basis. And we know that some of our families come here for Path, but you go to other church during, on Sundays, and that's fine as well. You can do a worship reflection at that church. We ask that you try to complete 16 of them throughout the course of the year. 16 is not a lot when you look at starting, because I know some of you even started this summer, which is great. But between September and May, there's a lot of weeks in that time. So if you get 8 of them completed by December and then another 8 done by between January and May, then you get your 16 in. Like I said, other churches are okay. We know that sometimes, like if COVID does hit in your household and you need to watch the worship service online, you can do it through that as well. We don't actually make a habit of that because we really want you to experience the worship within the church if you can. You do have an extra one that's in your journal or in this folder that you got in your Path bag. So you do have an extra one in there if you need to make some copies, but they can be found at the Connection Center that's out there for you to be able to fill them out on Sunday mornings or Saturday nights if you come on those evenings. 8th graders, this is very important. In order for you to be confirmed, you have to have at least 8 worship reflections done.
10.
10?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
8
I was
plus
thinking
2.
8th grade. 8th grade. You need to have at least 10 of them done. If you don't have 10 of them done, then we'll work with you to try to get them done. But if you don't get 10 of them done, then we may have to prolong your confirmation at that point, which we have had to do in the past. But like I said, 10 is not a whole lot. If you think of it, it's basically 2.5 months, you can get all of them done. So really keep a focus on it so you can get done the 10 that need to get done. Now also, there's a bonus. There's always a bonus.
Yes.
A bonus with our worship reflections are if you're here for one of our high holy holidays, such as during Christmas, we may have some extra services during the Christmas season, during the Lenten season with Ash Wednesday or Maundy Thursday or Good Friday. If you come on those evenings and you do a worship report, it'll count as 2. Ooh. So you get a double. You get a double on those. Yeah. So make sure that you're getting, our goal is for you to do 16, but 8th graders, you have to have at least 10 in order to be confirmed. And if there's problems that are occurring that you need to talk it over with myself, I'll be more than happy to try to work something out with you too. Our serving opportunities, or our serving ops, as it says up there. Our serving opportunities that we have here at Light of Christ are it's on the back of the calendar. The calendar, again, is in that folder that you have, this folder again. So if you look at the back of the calendar, it gives you different serving events that you can occur. The ones here at Light of Christ are we usually have a fall cleanup. We have a spring cleanup that can be done. We make Christmas ornaments for the pre-K. We decorate the church for Christmas. There's VBS. There's welcome ministry where you can be, help being an usher and such. So there's, and you would shadow an adult, like on those high holy holidays again. You can shadow an adult during those evenings, and that can count towards a serving opportunity.
It counts as 2 serving opportunities. So literally, you could come and shadow an adult to welcome people in the door, and you're getting 2 serving opportunities.
So if you look at the next slide where it has the serving chart, this is a chart that you'll just fill out. We're looking for Christ-centered service. It's often transformational, and it can change both the life of a person who serves as well as a person who is served. So we want to make sure that you're doing this with a genuine heart. Now, there's a minimum of 8 servings that we look for. These are servings that can be done at home. They can be done here at church. They can be done out in the community. The thing that we ask that you cannot be paid for them, because then that's really not a service that you're giving of yourself, as a service that you're giving so you can get money. So if you decide to go and mow the lawn for mom and dad and don't ask to be paid, that could count as a serving event. Like I said, we have some here at Light of Christ that we can work with, and then sometimes our small group leaders get together on a separate weekend, and they'll go out and do some serving, such as maybe ringing the bell for Salvation Army at Christmas time, or getting together and putting together some Operation Christmas child boxes, something, just things that they can do extra as well that can count towards some of these service events as well. We ask that these charts be handed in to Kim by December, so we can keep track how many you have in December, and then again at the end of April, so we can see if you met your 8 required servings that we're looking for as well.
They do not have to turn in each time. Keep your chart and then turn it in once I give you the date. So just keep writing it.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
just keep track of it.
Yeah.
But we do encourage on the back of the calendar with the opportunities to serve where there's other groups. We encourage that because it also helps build community, and it's just more fun serving with other people and other kids.
We've given a lot of information. We're getting ready to let our 6th and 7th graders go to small group here in a minute. Are there any questions that any parents or families or anybody have at this point?
Do you want to just tell them where to turn in the worship reflections?
Yes, where to turn in the worship
Thank you.
reflections.
The worship reflections, thank you. Kim would have
Thank
killed
you.
me if I didn't say this. The worship reflections on Sunday mornings there's like a little mail slot that's on the side of the connection center desk that's out there.
Yeah.
You can put them in there on Sunday mornings. If you come on Wednesdays, you can either put it in that same slot, or you can put it in a bin that we'll have up on the stage in the annex so you can put it in. Do not, and I repeat, do not hand them to your leaders, because we need to figure out how many you have, make copies of it, and then we give them to your leaders to hand back to you towards the middle of the year and then again at the end of the year. So either on Wednesday nights, they go on the same slot that you put on Sunday mornings, or they go on the basket that we have on the stage in the annex.
Awesome.
Any other questions? Thank you, Brooke.
6th or 7th grade, any questions, parents, anyone? And
Okay.
feel free to reach out to us as well if you have any questions or thoughts or anything like that after this.
You can see your rooms and your groups here, so we're going to let you go. There's an icebreaker that your leaders will do with you, and then they'll also get your information, such as your phone number, birthday, that kind of stuff, at the front of their journal, so they have that information, and then kind of talk about what small group kind of looks like. Okay?
All right.
So 6th grade and 7th grade, you may go. 8th grade, please stay here, because we're going to be going over some more specific stuff.
Occasionally outside your room if contact allowed to have
Yeah, we're good. Is this the time?
Huh?
Did we run late?
No, we're good, because they can't go into the rooms until 7:15.
Yeah, look at that.
Jessica gets them out of there.
Yeah. Perfect timing. Any what, Kim? Medical forms? Any medical forms? Just bring them back to Kim.
If you have a medical form, please give to Kim. Medical forms to Kim, please. That's probably where I said that for the entire time.
Yeah. Hold it down. Yeah, you're not loud like I am. I'm naturally just loud. You have a soft, nice voice.
Quietly spoken.
Quietly spoken.
So 8th grade, if you could move to the middle section, then that way we're not kind of
All
turning
right.
our backs on you. 8th grade. 8th grade, move to
right.
the middle section, please.
8th grade to the middle. We want you to get a better look at our faces.
Rather than our behinds.
Yeah. Both are nice, but both are nice, but all right.
Okay, 8th grade, we kept you in here because we have some more specific things we need to talk to you about. As 8th graders, you will be moving towards your faith expression as well as confirmation this year. It's been a 3-year journey for most of you, and some of you are joining us this year, which is awesome. We want to see you follow Christ's lead as well. So Pastor Mo and I are going to talk a little bit about some of the bigger events that you have to do. A lot of them come within the second semester, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be thinking about them during the fall as well. So,
Yeah, and so what we notice is that the faith expression tends to be what everyone gets super nervous about, super freaked out about, anxious. Try not to feel that way, because here's the reality about it. A faith expression is just expressing your relationship with God. And so what does that look like? So a lot of kids do a lot of different things. Some kids who love to bake have literally laid out all the ingredients and said, you know, this water that I'm adding to the batter reminds me of the water I was baptized with and what that means to be baptized into following Jesus. And this sugar or the salt reminds me that I'm to be flavorful in the world. And, you know, whatever. Some kids have rapped. They love rap, so they rap. Other kids are super shy, right? And they're like, they don't want to talk in front of anyone, so they've held like big signs that say things while music goes that kind of describes their relationship with God or how that's evolved. And honestly, some kids have even shared, you know what, I doubted, I didn't even know if I believed, I was only coming here because my parents, you know, but if I took away anything, it was that I feel like, you know, maybe I am loved and fine just the way I am. And so that's important too. Like, just come as you are. There is no right and wrong. This is your journey. This is your experience with God. No one's going to tell you what you need to say or not say. And so that's why this is a sacred space, to just be who you are and find creative ways of, you know, sharing your relationship with God with all of us. And so, yeah.
and some important dates that we have is our first important date that we have is January 18th. January 18th is when we'll have the graphic organizer will be due, and I'll talk about the graphic organizer here in a couple of minutes. We have our baptism baby child picture due on the 18th as well. We do a PowerPoint that shows the student as a baby being baptized, and then a current picture of them as they're being confirmed and confirming their baptismal beliefs. So we ask for that.
We understand that not all have been baptized,
Right.
like all have baby baptism pictures, right? Some may have been baptized later. So we just ask that you bring a child picture. If you have one when they were baptized, that's awesome. If you don't, just bring in a baby picture.
Perfect.
That'd be great.
You can start emailing those to me as soon as possible if you want. Like, if you go home tonight, if you want to set it up, send it up. If you want to turn it in as a hard picture, we will return that back to you later in the year. So.
Kim loves being prepared. She's super organized.
The earlier the better.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's why we're the body of Christ, okay?
But also that night will be a parent night. The 18th is a parent night for you to come, and we sit with our 8th graders, and Pastor Mo and Kim and I will talk about, you know, expectations that we look for the faith expressions. We'll give you some examples of what's going on, you know, that have been done in the past. We'll give you some time to talk with your small group leaders, to really start zoning in on what you'd like to do as part of it. And then we'll talk about the confirmation information as well regarding the date and information that we have there.
And when we say expectations, okay, so like sometimes we have kids that are like rock stars in basketball, right? So they're like giving us a video or just, talking about how many awards they won and how they just are amazing in basketball. Okay, and that is a gift from God, your talents. But if you don't, we want to help you find a way to take your gift of, your basketball skills that God gave you and your relationship with God and find a way to creatively merge those, not to just listen to what a rock star you are, even though we're happy you are, but merging that. And so we'll help you understand what we're kind of looking for in that way.
The graphic organizer, this is what it looks like. Each one of you, did they get this tonight? You have it tonight, so hold on to it.
Is it in their binders, right?
They got one when they walked up.
They got
They got one. Okay, awesome.
But there's 5 different areas we ask for you to kind of look at. One is, if there's a Bible verse or a Bible story that relates to you and why. My 55-year-old is not working.
And with the Bible verse, so this is the time even to be like you have your notebook, jot down if a Bible verse did oh wow, I really like that or that hit me. But here's the truth, the Bible has so much wisdom in it that really just even reading a little bit of it goes a long way. One of my favorite verses is guard your heart, for it will determine where your life goes. And so it's important that we guard our hearts, who we let into our lives, who we have relationships with, because sometimes if we're hanging out with a bunch of people that are doing the wrong thing, we easily go down the wrong path. And so that's a Bible verse that I use. And so different ones will hit you in different ways. Jot them down and, star them so that it could really be something that's meaningful to you rather than oh my goodness, I have to get my faith expression done. I'm just going to randomly choose one, even though it really doesn't mean anything to me. And so we want it to be something that means something to you.
And we want you to take the time with this, because if you take the time with this graphic organizer and fill it out well and specifically, it's going to be a lot easier for you to write your faith expression when that time comes and putting things together. Because we talk about in the rest of this, what's a way that you serve that you really enjoy? What's a way, who's been an influence in your life, as you become to realize who Jesus is and can be a part of your life. So what's a time that you felt God in your life? Take the time to really think about and pull it all together, because you can go back and relate some of those experiences that you have when you're giving your faith expression up here. If you're having difficulty with this, you got wonderful people around here. Pastor Mo would be more than happy to talk to you. I would, Kim would, your small group leaders, most importantly, will be the ones that you can tap into as well. So take some time, if you're having some difficulty with it, we'll be more than happy to sit down with you and help you figure out what direction you need to take.
And there's no such thing as a stupid question. So even if you're like, what do you mean, what ways have you shown service to God? What do you even talk? I don't even know what you mean. I love finding ways to break things down and give you a million examples until you do understand it. And so please just come and ask us any questions you have.
The next important date is Sunday, April 23rd. That's our confirmation prep day.
So you want to put that in your calendars?
So yeah, make sure it's in your calendar. We'll start at noon and go until about 1:30. That's just a day that we have all of the 8th graders who are being confirmed here that afternoon, so we can practice how do we come in to the service at the beginning. How do we come up and get confirmed? If I'm being baptized, how am I going to be baptized before I'm confirmed? And then how to get back to my seat and such. How do we come up for communion? So we practice all those things and go through it all together. And I'll tell you one thing that you can start working on if you don't know it. Start memorizing the Apostles' Creed, because you will be saying the Apostles' Creed as a group up here.
We're going to actually work that into our time together.
Yeah, it's going to be in our times that we have, but it would be wise for you to keep on practicing it as well. We'll do it each week at Path, but we'll make sure that you have a little bit of a leg up with that as well. But during that time, we don't not only just practice the service that we're going to have, we ask the parents to come back about 1:15 that afternoon and have a question and answer time and just give you some specifics as to what we're going to have on that Saturday evening. and if you have any questions that need to come up. Next is our faith expressions that happen on April 26th. That will be from about 6:30 to 9-ish, depending on the number of kids that we have here. Leaders will be working with each of the 8th graders to help them find their way that they want to express their faith. And like we said, we'll show you some examples again on January 18th. They can do it. On that evening, if you notice that that's an evening and maybe there's a band concert or there's a sporting event that your child has to be a part of, get in contact with Kim right away, because we set up the schedule. If the music performance starts at 7:30 and we're starting at 6:30, we could possibly get your child's group done at 6:30 to 7, so you can still make your music event as well. We prefer you could be here the entire time, but we understand that there's some extenuating circumstances outside of that as well. So if you're looking at the school calendar and there's something that's on that date, let Kim know so that we can work through that. And then confirmation is held on Saturday, April 29th at 5 p.m. Service that Saturday night. So make sure you have that marked on your calendar as well. Again, if it's a date that you have a difficulty with, that your child cannot be here that night to be confirmed, you need to talk to Pastor Mo and myself and Kim so that we can try to work something else out.
And early on too, like if you're having any kind of doubts or questions, or like come talk to us early on so that we can really, work with you and walk through this with you so you're not alone. So we just want you to know that. And then if you don't have your photo taken, who here didn't take their photo or have it taken and it's in the directory? Okay, to really, really try to have your parents take it and put it in the app, and or just let us know, because I want to know all your names. Like I want to know you. And so it's so hard if I don't have your picture and your name together, because there's lots of kids. So it really helps us as leaders too to be able to call you by name and to really get to know you better. So please talk your parents into doing that and uploading it. That would be awesome.
And one very special event that 8th graders get to be a part of at the end of the year is our youth mission trip that the kids get to go on. I'm going to turn it over to Kim Carrera, and she'll talk to you about what all that entails.
So much fun.
One thing, though, if you are not baptized, we are having the immersion baptism on the 11th, right?
Yes.
So that's a way to get baptized before confirmation. Or last year we had a couple kids get baptized right as they were getting confirmed too.
Yeah.
So in case anyone is not baptized, that's
because this is why, right? Like, so you're baptized often as a baby, right? You don't make the decision yourself. Your parents make it for you. I want my children to follow this way of love, this way of mercy and kindness in the world. This is what I want. Well, so you're confirming that and saying, yeah, I'm older now. I agree. I've done this journey for 3 years. I agree. I'm going to do my best to walk in this way. And so that's why we get confirmed. So if you're not baptized yet, it wouldn't make sense to confirm something you weren't baptized into, if that makes any sense. If you have any questions, come and talk to me. I'll work through it with you more in depth. But we do ask that they're baptized because that's what Jesus asks us to do, right? It's a sacrament. It's a moment where it is a visual sign of the inward grace and the invisible presence of God in our lives that moves and breathes in amazing ways. And so it's really important, and it's a part of who we are. Jesus tells us to do it, we do it, and trust in that.
So how many of you like serving? A lot of you. You've served over the last 2 years in a lot of ways. So another way to serve is on the youth mission trip. And you guys are hearing it first. My teens don't even know where we're going. Close your ears, Jenna. We are going to Benton Harbor, Michigan. It's a smaller town, and I'm actually really excited about that because we've done a couple large cities, but this year we're going to go to Benton Harbor, which is going to be a great time. And let me explain how this mission trip is life-changing. It is a great way for you guys to connect in to Summit. And after this last mission trip, I have not seen a group bond so well with kids coming from the mission trip, or even if they didn't attend the mission trip, but the love that the kids had for each other on our mission trip they welcomed in anyone else coming into that ministry. And you guys will get to come into Summit this summer, which I'm super excited about. 8th grade is my favorite year. Don't tell anyone else I said that. But on the mission trips, we have a lot of fun, too. We have fun with each other. We bond with each other. But then we also serve in the community. And so as we get closer to the date, we find out more about our serving projects. But in the past, we've served at like Kids Club, you can see. We've done gardening. We've worked in food kitchens and pantries. And it's just a great week of serving. It's 4 days of serving and 2 days of travel. It's not hard. The cost is $650, but we never want cost to be a problem here. So we also have fundraisers that we will start once we have registration out. And the date, if you want to write this down now, it will also come out in an email, is June 18th through the 23rd. So we're leaving on Father's Day, sorry dads, but we figure we could leave you guys and not the moms. So it's true. But I would love for all of you to be on this trip. Last year there was about 14 incoming freshmen, and it was the biggest incoming class we've had in years. I would love for all of you to attend it. And so a typical day would be we get up, we make breakfast, a certain group will make breakfast. We all eat together, we clean, and then we have a little bit of a worship time before we head off into our work groups. Parents, our leaders are devoted Summit leaders or parents of some of the 8th graders have come in the past. Once we get as many students, we'll know how many leaders. And so then we work on our work sites, we eat lunch there, and then we come home, we shower, we have some free time, and then we have a night worship. Well, first we have an evening activity that the Youth Works is who we partner with. Every night we kind of have something that gets us in the community. And a lot of the times at the end of the week, we have a community dinner where the people we have been serving, we invite them to eat with us. So that's a really cool thing. We've seen it on a few of the trips. And then we have our nighttime worship, and then a little more free time. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful week. It is 20 times better than the Path Retreat. And the Path Retreat is pretty awesome, right? You finally got to experience a Path Retreat. And so more info on this will be coming out, and you guys can sign up right away. Usually I give my teens a week so they can get their registration in and get their spot. I'm not doing it. So you guys can sign up right away and take some of their spots away, because we do have limited spots. And like I said, if money is anything, please talk to me or Pastor Mo. We will work to get you on this trip. We have awesome fundraisers that we do here, and our church supports us in huge ways in our fundraisers. It's really great for the kids to see. So are there any questions on the mission trip, if you do?
It is the only week where I think I probably get 4 to 5 hours total of sleep. I have never seen teenagers not sleep for so long and still have energy. And so if that speaks into, it is a ridiculous amount of fun, and it is absolutely God ordained, because here's the thing, your driving group who you're with, it's different than your work group, which is different than your small group. So it is, the last 2 years that I have gone, kids that are placed together with different leaders at different times were so filled in different ways that they needed, that it could only have been done by God's Spirit moving in the way that was needed. And so this is just an amazing opportunity for that. And the kids have a blast.
And it's really cool because the students lead the worship time with music, and that's really cool. And so if you have a musical talent, we want you to be in our band, leading worship with us. So that's something that's really, that time is one of the biggest times where faith is grown, is during our worship time. So would love, like I said, all of you to be on that trip. So if you have any questions later, you can email me or talk to me in person, whatever it is. So.
All right, that's it? Yeah? Let's pray quickly. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for these amazing youth. We know that you have them here exactly where they are supposed to be. So their eyes may be opened in different ways to how amazing you have made them, to talents they don't even know they have yet, to different parts about themselves that they have yet to discover. We ask that you continue to just surround them and guide them in all that they do, and during this year as they come to know you more. All this we pray in the power of your Spirit through Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, you guys have fun in your small group.